If I had to start my business from scratch tomorrow, I'd do the exact same thing that Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, and Sabri Suby all did to build $1 million companies. And I'm not talking about branding, ads, or social media. I'm talking about the single most leveraged business activity that books in meetings, gets clients fast, and actually grows your business. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Now, you're probably thinking, what is this most leveraged activity that I'm talking about? And the reason why I say it's the most leveraged is because no one will do it. Like, everyone has so much resistance when it comes to this because it's mentally fatiguing, all right? It's not physical exertion. It's not actually physically hard to do, but it's mentally very hard to do high numbers and high volume of it because of the emotion people let or people tie to what it is. So what it actually is cold calls. And you're probably like, oh, I heard cold calls before. I guarantee you, if you run a business, you don't do cold calls. And I guarantee if you're going to run a business and you haven't done cold calls yet, you'll do it for like 10 minutes a day and give up. The reason why you give up is because you tie too much emotion to it, and it's a numbers game. Everyone knows this. Sales is a numbers game. Booking meetings is the exact same. It's just a numbers game. You got to do high volume to book meetings in. If you're planning on doing 20, 30, it won't work. And there's something I was taught for a year. I did it and I let emotions tie to it. Someone that told me to fuck off, I tell them to fuck off. I'd be pissed off. It's called regressions to the mean. It's from Charlie Morgan, so I take no credit for it. But once I first learnt this, my cold call, like the numbers went up, volume went up, and booking meetings and landing clients went up entire. It was all like in succession. So how it works is everything comes down to an average, and everything's just numbers, right? It's just statistics, but you have to find your average, and to find that average, you got to figure out a big enough data set. You got to do a big enough data set. So you got to do high volume to find your average. So once you find that average, you might have a 20% booking meeting when you call people. So you call 5 people, you'll book in 1. Now, once you figure out that average, you don't tie any emotions to it, but you have to do a big enough volume. So the thing with it is you can't do 5, book 1 and be like, oh, I've got a 20%. You got to do 100 cold calls. And when I say cold calls, I mean speaking to 100 people. I don't mean people not answering the phone. Like, you have to speak to 100 people and then you get your average off that. But what most people don't understand is they think it comes in like a pattern. There's no pattern to this. You could have 80 no's and 20 yeses in the end. But the thing is, most people give up on the 80th one because they don't understand. Everything just comes back to the average. Everything comes back to your mean. So you could book in 20 right at the start, and then your next 80 could be all no's. Or it could be 10 yeses, 20 no's, another 30 no's, 3 yeses, 40 no's, 8 yes. Like it works like that, right? Everything is not in accordance, but you have to track everything as well to know your average. So everything should be tracked on a sheet, so you can pretty much know that you're getting better, you're improving. But when you start thinking of it like a numbers game and you think everything's going to come back to the mean, you disassociate your emotions to what you're actually doing. So you're not going to tie your emotions. You won't get mentally fatigued. And this was the case when I started doing it as well. But you have to understand that if you're so caught up in like getting told no, if you're so caught up in having your emotions react to the way people respond, you're going to affect your next call. Your next person doesn't know you just got told to fuck off. They have no idea what's happening in your life. So when you disassociate your emotions, you go in with the same script, same high level confidence, you're much more likely to book in those meetings. And like I was saying at the start, when I first started, like my first year, I'd cold call. Like I would cold call, but I'd do it for like 10, 20 minutes a day. And I remember I had my business partner with me, and we'd be happy when someone didn't answer the phone. We'd cheer and be like, oh, it's your turn. Like, you can't let this happen because it is a waste of time. And it's resistance to actually wanting to grow and speak to people. The things that are the hardest to do are always the things you should be doing. And you have resistance to them because you know you should be doing, but they're hard. But that's what's going to grow your business. Cold calling is going to grow your business. Creating fancy websites, no one gives a shit about. You're going to make no money off that. Websites are outdated. Creating, a nice looking social media, good in the long run. But if you're actually trying to get clients in now, main focus should just be on cold calling. Because think about it. What's better than speaking to a business owner one-to-one over the phone? Yes, you might speak to a gatekeeper, hang up on them. Like, fuck, don't speak to any gatekeepers. Yes, you might see a landline number, don't ring it. Only ring mobile numbers to business owners and speak to them. You've literally got the opportunity to speak to a business owner, book him in on a day he's free, and potentially close him. There's not much else to it. The reason why people think, oh, I can't cold call, it's a waste of time, they get heaps of them, it's all resistance. It's literally just bullshit. You should be cold calling if you want to grow, if you want to book meetings. The way to think about it is you want clients, right? All right, how do you get clients? You got to speak to people on meetings. How do you book meetings? Cold call. So you got to, you need meetings to land clients, but to get meetings, you got to speak to people. Easiest way to speak to a business owner is cold call them. Emails, go to spam. No one checks their emails these days. Social media, they'll just flick through. Cold calls goes directly to them, and you got the opportunity to pitch them. So if I was you, you're starting a business or you've been running your business, you're seeing no growth, there's potentiality that you're not cold calling. Focus on cold calling. Go find your average. So speak to 100 people over the phone, track it all. People you've booked in, people who've shown no interest, people who haven't answered, but only count the ones you've spoken to calculate your mean. So speak to 100 people, find your mean, whether it's 5%. Cold calling is much lower always. It could be like 5 or 10%. You could ring 100 people and only book in 5 people. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just find your average. And then once you find it, do high enough volume to book in how many meetings you want a day. Say you want to book 2 meetings a day with a 5%. You only need to call 50 or 60 people and speak to 50 or 60 people every single day. Then you book 2 meetings. That's what you do that 5 days a week. That's 10 meetings, 20% conversion rate. You close 2 people a week. Like, it's that easy. It's not that hard to understand. So when you are moving forward after this, learn the regressions to mean, find your average, do a big enough data set to find that, and disassociate your emotions and start cold calling. That's how you're going to grow your business. If you guys want anything else, just leave it in the comments and I'm happy to run through it. Thanks.